It's now time for Random Match Monday. You know how this works now. I'm going to pick something at random. Hopefully it's not another bloody Royal Rumble. And I'm going to let go now. Fatal 4-Way, something interesting for a change. I'll control one participant. Also, I was supposed to change the save file because we had a couple of the created wrestlers selected last week. I forgot to do that. I'll do it next time, I just forgot. Hopefully we don't get too many repeats. We've got Hollywood Hogan, he was in the Royal Rumble last week. We've got The Rock. This is going to be like an all-star cast, isn't it? Well, maybe not. I spoke too soon. Sylvain Grenier. And the last one, someone interesting. Oh, Carl Eels, not bad. I may do 2 matches this week. We'll see. I'll keep my finger. We'll get a random arena. Survivor Series, there we go. Let's get to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a fatal 4-way match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, hailing from Hollywood, California, he weighs in tonight at 280 pounds, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. The leader of the NWO, the leader of the WNBA, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. Coming out to the classic NWO theme. The question is, will he be taking over here tonight in this fatal 4-way match? An all-star cast. And Sylvain Grenier is in there as well. Nonetheless, the Hulkster, he looks ready. Former WCW champion, of course, multiple-time WWF champion, one of the biggest stars in the history of this sport. Wearing the black and white here tonight. Can Hulk Hogan prevail here against 3 other wrestlers? We will find out. And now, ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, hailing from Miami, Florida, he weighs in tonight at 275 pounds, The Rock.
The People's Champion, Rocky Maivia in a previous life. Of course, before he went on to be in such great films as Baywatch and Fast and Furious 15. This man was a phenomenal professional wrestler, former world champion, one of the biggest stars to ever set foot in a ring, and of course previous history with the man stood on the outside at the moment, Hollywood Hulk Hogan. A rematch from WrestleMania 18, I think it was. Classic match between these two. First time, I believe, they're getting back in a ring together ever since that classic match. What a moment it's going to be when these two men square off. And Sylvain Grenier's going to be in there as well.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, their opponent, hailing from Who the Fuck Cares, Sylvain Grenier.
Well, I believe he is from somewhere in the French provinces of Canada. Sylvain Grenier. Know nothing about this man. He's got low resistance on the back of his pants. He was part of that group for a little bit. That's it, really. If Sylvain Grenier's out there, you want to give me a bit more information about your career, about what you're up to nowadays. How's business at the restaurant, construction company, NASA, where you work as a space scientist? I've known nothing about this man. That's it. That's all I've got, I'm afraid. Hopefully Carlito's going to come out in a minute and have something to talk about.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the final opponent, hailing from the Caribbean, he weighs in tonight at 232 pounds, Carlito.
Well, the question is, does Carlito think the 3 men that he's going to be squaring off with are cool here tonight? He may just spit a bit of that apple in the face. Of course, wasting food. Many countries where that apple would be well appreciated, but Carlito's such a bad person, he doesn't care. He'll just spit that apple about on national television. Carlito, now second generation wrestler, the son of the legendary Carlos Colon. Man, maybe didn't quite live up to his potential back in the day. Former Intercontinental Champion though. Certainly achieved quite a lot. Former Tag Team Champion. Never quite reached the brass ring of being a World Champion. And he's not going to get the chance tonight because we're not having a number one contender. Well, the bell rings, we're underway, and I remember a song by the Black Eyed Peas. I believe it was, I've got a feeling that tonight may be a fucking long night because these fatal four-way matches can really go a long time. But look at this, Hollywood Hogan wasting no time, going right after Carlito. And going after The Rock as well. Sylvain Grenier doing something. Maybe I was wrong about this man. Maybe he's the most exciting performer in the history of the sport. Maybe he should be in the Hall of Fame. Can we start the hashtag, please? Get Sylvain Grenier in the Hall of Fame, whoever that man may be. And now look at Hogan, nice power slam on The Rock. Hollywood Hogan normally exercises a bit of caution, but Hogan, the most aggressive man in this match. You've got to grab the brass ring. Not quite sure why you've got to grab it, but for some reason you've got to grab it. That's what everyone keeps saying. It's now Hogan with heavy shoulder thrust to the midsection. A WrestleMania rematch here between these two. If you just cover half of your screen and ignore the other two, man, that's exactly what this is. And Hogan seems to be the only one with any aggression here. The Rock really struggling. Now Sylvain Grenier trying to drop kick on Carlito, but completely missing. As now Hogan sends The Rock for the ride off. The Rock's and another power slam. Hollywood Hulk Hogan firing on all cylinders now. And now the legs hooked. The shoulders down. This one could be over. It was very, very close. And the two other opponents didn't even notice that Hogan had gone for a cover. So maybe it's not going to be too long of a fatal four-way match here. And look at that. Double collision in the corner. The Rock getting back to his feet. Taking both the men out, but Hogan absolutely destroying The Rock. This is really one-sided between these two men. The fans chanting for Rocky. He's doing bugger all at the moment, absolutely getting destroyed by the Hulkster. As now Hogan sends him into the corner, comes running in, nice clothesline by Hollywood, Hulk, Hogan, and The Rock. Seems to be in a very bad way at the moment. As Carlito now sending Sylvain Grenier into that exposed turnbuckle. As Hogan now, what's he going to go for? Picks the up on his shoulder. Look at this, power the 275 pounder taken down with a shoulder breaker. And look at this now, Hogan drops the big leg. Well, this one's over. This fatal four-way match has to be over here. Referee making the count. And yeah, it is over. I can't. Oh, what a shock that is.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is your winner, Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, it is over. I was expecting a bit more of a match than that, but nonetheless, Hollywood Hulk Hogan victorious in rather spectacular fashion. And I'll tell you what, let's do another one because that was a very short match. A lot shorter than I was expecting, so we'll do one more. It's not going to be 3 again. It'll be one more match. Let's see what we get. It's not bad. Not bad. Tag team. Normal. Been quite a boring selection of matches, but I suppose that makes it more interesting when you do get an interesting match. I'm going to control a member of both teams in this to make it a little bit more interesting. We'll do that. And again, random picks on both sides. Torrie Wilson again. Right, Torrie Wilson will be teaming up with Mark Jindrak. And they will be taking on the team of Eddie Guerrero. Is it going to be Eddie Guerrero and the Honky Tonk Man again? The greatest tag team ever? No, Booker T. Not too bad. And we'll pick a random... Well, obviously the clue's in the name. Random Match Monday. Oh, not Survivor Series again. No, I'm picking again. We're not having the same arena twice. Let go now. Velocity, there you go. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, hailing from Boyne, Idaho, Torrie Wilson.
Oh I'll tell you what, Christian Cage had a lucky escape in Random Match Monday last week, managing to defeat the powerhouse known as Tori Wilson. The woman, she could have been a UFC World Champion. She could have beat Brock Lesnar. She wanted to. One of the most dangerous people to ever set foot in a professional wrestling ring. Don't let the smile fool you. And it may just be destruction time here tonight for Tori Wilson. All that pent up rage and aggression, she's going to take it out on her opponents.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, her tag team partner, hailing from Auburn, New York, he weighs in tonight at 270 pounds, Mark Jindrak.
Well, Mark Jindrak here. Just stay out of the way of Tori Wilson, let her do all the work. Don't want to be getting in the way. Mark Jindrak, a big man, and that's pretty much all there is to say about this man. Could have been in Evolution. That's it, I'm afraid. He was in the Royal Rumble last week with Mark Jindrak drawing the #1 spot, and obviously he didn't win. Let's just skip.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. Introducing first, hailing from El Paso, Texas, he weighs in tonight at 230 pounds, Eddie Guerrero.
Well, once again, Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat arriving in style here. And the momentum firmly behind Latino Heat. Him and the Honky Tonk Man last week in Random Match Monday winning a ladder match. Bit of a shame we're not going to get to see the greatest team in history team up again, but got a formidable partner here tonight as well. And Eddie Guerrero really on a roll. One of the finest to ever lace up a pair of boots was Guerrero. Great combination of technical skill and speed, lucha libre style on full display. I'm just saying words now to try and fill time as Latino Heat makes his way to the ring. And a very, very interesting contest here. To my knowledge, none of these teams ever teaming up before. Very similar to the ladder match the week before as well. It's going to be interesting to see here how these two teams fare. Will there be any chemistry? Will there be any cohesion? Or will it be absolute chaos? You just never know, but we will find out on Random Match Monday.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, his tag team partner, hailing from Houston, Texas, he weighs in tonight at 260 pounds, Booker T.
I've got one question for everybody out there. Can you dig that sucker? Let me know if you can dig it in the comments. We'll take a fan poll. Whoever gets the right answer will win a holiday to Burnley. Big competition coming up on the channel. Nonetheless, Booker T, former 5-time WCW champion, doesn't like talking about it, though you very rarely hear mention the fact that he was a champion. He's modest, this man. Little known fact, fun fact about him. Booker T, though, very, very great wrestler. Of course, I believe a former world heavyweight champion as well. If you were a betting man, you'd have to bet on the team if you were just looking at individual talents of the team of Guerrero and Booker T. But you just never know when Tori the Killer Wilson is on the opposing team. Really is anybody's game, that's for sure. So now we're underway, the bell rings, we're about to get. And look at this Latino Heat. Well, Latino Heat getting overconfident against Tori Wilson, and a mistake that's cost many men their lives. Wilson now wasting no time, going right after him, takes him down with a forearm. Well, you do not taunt this absolute monster. And a big drop kick to the face now. Wilson absolutely on fire. Latino Heat really struggling here. Excellent stuff here from Wilson. Now tries the Irish whip, but Eddie Guerrero puts the brakes on. Drop kick to the knee. Can't take her off her feet though. Tori Wilson, the big man, will not go down. And look at this, Guerrero throwing everything he's got at Wilson, trying to take her down, but she won't go. And now Wilson getting out of the way. Nice lucha libre style arm drag, a move I was not expecting, but beautiful athleticism on full display. And now Wilson with a quick roll up, but not enough to put Eddie Guerrero away, that's for sure. Jinrak seems to be pleading for the tag on the apron. He knows what's good for him, he'll just stay there and stay out of the way of Wilson. But look at this, Guerrero now trying to take down Wilson, doing everything he can. And just, oh, he takes her down now though. Big heel kick by Guerrero, now rolling out of the way. Big time pop-up drop kick. Latino Heat really finding his feet now trying to choke his opponent. Maybe that's the only way to defeat Torrie Wilson. Oh, Torrie in the ropes though. And Latino Heat lies, he cheats, he steals, and well, he's not technically breaking any rules, but got to the count of 5 to break that hold. But Guerrero, a veteran, he knows every trick in the book, does Guerrero, and now Torrie Wilson looks to be in trouble. But look at this, Booker T with a bit of miscommunication, taking out his own partner and allowing Torrie Wilson the advantage. As now Mark Jindrak comes in, double team moves here. First double team move we've seen from either team. And Wilson and Jinrak seem to be doing a pretty good job at the moment. Look at that power from Jinrak, dropping Booker T abdomen first right into the canvas. That's now another tag here. This is what you've got to do in a tag team match. You've got to keep your opponent isolated. Use the numbers game to your advantage and make sure they can't reach the corner to tag in the partner. And now Torrie Wilson with these heavy strikes. Could be a concussion here for Booker T. 10 strikes in the corner. And he gulps down, unsurprisingly. Who wouldn't? As now Torrie Wilson sends Booker T into the corner, tagging in Jinrak. And more double team moves from this team. Very, very excellent teamwork on display. You've got to give these two credit. The first time they team in, I'm thinking now, did these two have a talk in the back before this match to strategize? It certainly looks like it. As now Jinrak tries the Irish whip. Nice reversal by Booker T. Well, shouldn't have tagged Torrie Wilson out if they wanted to keep the advantage, really. Big mistake. And now Booker T with the opportunity to turn it around here. Look at this, both men pick him up. Beautiful, drops him face first right into the canvas. And this one could be all here. Referee making the count. Oh, and that was very close. Very, very near fall there. Eddie Guerrero can't believe how long the referee took. I think it was a fair count in my opinion. And look at this now, Torrie Wilson getting in the way of Jindrak. But fighting away. Jindrak just stood there not knowing what to do. Now a nice back suplex there by Latino Heat. Trying to cover again. This time Torrie Wilson comes in to break that count up, and it was very close last time. I can't blame her. Wilson's frustrated. She knows she can turn that match around and she can get in there. And what's this by these two? This double leg lock applied. And Jinrak in a lot of pain at the mercy of these two men. Doing an absolute number on him at the moment. And now look at this move, stealing the move of Michael Francis and Sammy the Bull. Well, and this could be over here. Guerrero going for that special submission maneuver. Jinrak may have to tap out, but look at Torrie Wilson again coming into the ring. But again, only distracting the referee. As now Booker T comes back in, kick to the ribs. And it's not looking good here for Jinrak. If you can't get the tag soon, this match will be over. And look at that though, reversal by Jindrak. Now knocks Eddie Guerrero off the apron. Can he get the tag to Torrie Wilson? No, he can't. He's gone outside the ring, the daft sod. No, he's not now. Now he's got the tag. Here comes the woman herself. There comes Wilson. Wilson now sends Booker T into the corner. Perches herself on the top rope. Big time elbow drop. Did you see that move? My God. And Booker T struggling here. Things have really turned around since this lady's come into the ring. And now look at that. It's not called the X Factor when she does it, but that's what move it is. Well, Booker T completely not reacting to that. He may regret that decision, but gets taken down with a snap near. And now what's Wilson going for? A drop kick to the face. Wilson absolutely on fire here. And comes off the ropes. Again, another elbow drop by Torrie Wilson. And look at this, going for the finisher again. Another X Factor. For some reason not going for the pin, going for a submission maneuver instead. Not quite sure how smart that is. I think she'd have had the victory. Maybe she will this time. As Tori Wilson with the cover. Legs hooked, and oh, very, very close there. I can't believe it's not over. I can't believe it. Just throwing Latino Heat out of the way. Now sends Booker T into the corner. Does Tori Wilson. Goes to the top rope. What's this move? Reverse DDT off the top. That could be all. And now with a lateral press the shoulders down. Guerrero tries coming to break it in, but the beast known as Tori Wilson gets the job done.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners, the team of Tori Wilson and Mark Jindrak.
Well, in my opinion, Mark Jindrak contributed nothing to that. Tori Wilson could have teamed with a cardboard cutout and won that match. Perhaps the greatest wrestler of all time, but nonetheless, great win for this team. And that concludes this week's Random Match Monday. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Good night.